Cemetery Committee will come to order. There will be no election of chairman and no approval of the minutes. We are going on a status quo right at the moment, as there are not enough members here. So could we have item 4, the status of the spring survey on the cemetery for maintenance needs?
Well, and at the last meeting, we talked, or the last meeting we had, which was in May, we talked about folks going out and taking pictures of things that were broken and getting some documentation done. So I don't know if any of the members have had a chance to do that or not.
Well, I've cut a couple bushes. I cut a couple bushes. You wrote down some of them, didn't you?
I wrote, but I didn't take any pictures.
No, but you wrote some of
And
them
I
down.
need to get an extra, thing for my camera. What I thought is I just mark it cemetery and
Oh,
take
yeah.
it, cause we had talked about the camera, and I've got a nice one that'll work.
Oh, cool. Well,
So-
and maybe at this point, we could do that in conjunction with gathering the data for the software.
Yeah, we
And
can
that's
do
the
that.
next item, was the update on the software. I've gotten the database software loaded to my PC and to all of the counter PCs, because eventually all the ladies will be able to sell plots and things of that nature, but not at first. And first I have to get all the data in there. So, I have it loaded, but I haven't had the training yet. And I've gone in and poked around a bit, and as Dominic was saying earlier about other softwares, there seem to be a lot of hidden commands, so I really need to have the training before I can start putting stuff in. They're going to do the training with me next Thursday, so I thought the following Thursday, and I didn't bring my calendar with me, I should have, but is when I want to start going out in the afternoons. And I thought starting with Raymond Hill, because that's, one, close to the town office, but two, it's laid out fairly straightforward, and I thought it would be a good place to start.
Was that up at the Baptist church?
Is that,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah,
yes.
that's- Okay.
So, not this next Thursday, but the Thursday after that, which I think is that the first Thursday of August? We might be in that by now, by then, I think so.
I think that, is that the 28th or the 29th?
It may be.
I'm gonna be busy that weekend, in a couple of days.
Oh, it's the
be-
30th, because today's the 16th. So it would be 2 weeks from now, so it
2
would be the
weeks from
30th.
now,
On
yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, that's, I have, back to the past, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be around during the week, but I'll probably be doing a lot then, but
Yeah.
I can try to get as much done of that ahead.
Yeah, so
Or is
that's,
that just for the software?
well, it's to gather data. What I'm hoping to do is take a picture of each plot, each stone, to record who's there and all the pertinent information, date of death, and as much information as we can get about them off the stone. And the status of the stone, as whether it needs any maintenance or not, whether it needs to be cleaned, and whether or not it's a veteran or a firefighter or any of the various flags that are around it, so that I can input all that data into the software. Because for the pictures, I can attach the pictures to the database so that if someone selected that particular plot, they would bring up that picture.
You should have a copy of all the ones that are in the cemetery.
Yep, the status
the
changes as
stones.
far as the
Yeah.
stones go.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we've gotta be careful about using bleach on those stones.
Yeah.
There's a special stuff, Colette's, I don't know what it is. I've forgotten now, Paul told me.
Yeah. Yeah, that we could get from them.
But as I say, I can go out between now and somewhat, between now and the 30th. I just, those 2 or 3 days are gonna be hectic.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even if I go up the first time by myself and just, at first it's gonna be figuring out what data do I need to capture and what do we need to do. And I wanna kind of come up with a checklist so that at each one we're getting the same information. And as much of it as we can, because some stones have more information on them than others.
Well, if you could go up someday next week, we could maybe start
Yeah.
that, at least start
Yeah.
deciding what we wanna get and how we wanna.
Well, and I have a training on Tuesday, so my weekends have shortened up next week. I might be able to Friday afternoon.
A week from Friday?
Yeah, a week from Friday I could.
Well, I'll
Do you wanna
keep-
go for aim for that?
Well, let's try, at least keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
What is the date?
That will be the 24th, I believe. Yes.
And an easy one to do will be the one over at the Riverside, because I know there's not much going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as,
Yeah, that one is going to be
that's neat and
easy.
tidy, and there is one that I wanna make sure we get a copy of. It's a picture. A
Oh,
little
yes.
different.
Louise was
Wait.
showing me one with a picture that was really neat.
Over
up
there with a kind of rounded,
Yes.
yeah,
'Cause we
it's
were there for
fairly
the Civil
new.
War.
Yeah, I was sick in
ceremony.
bed, I
Oh,
would've
I'm
been
sorry.
there.
That was a nice ceremony.
Where I was. I wanted to come
Mhm.
up and I planned on it, but,
Mhm.
I never got out of my chair for 4 days,
Mhm.
except to go back to bed.
So we'll aim at that. And the next thing is beginning to look at the ordinance, and we
Mhm.
can't make any changes to it, but I brought my first stab at trying to play with it. So I thought I'd give you each one. I haven't made any changes to wording in any of this, unless it was a grammatical change. But right now, this is the ordinance. And all it is a straight list, 1 through, what is it, 30-something, I think. 1 through 34, and there's at least 6 items on here that aren't numbered. So it's more like 1 through 40, really. And they're in no order. There's things about no snowmobiles and no cars and things, and then there might be something about the monuments, and then afterwards there's something about perpetual care, then there's something else about monuments. It's kind of all over.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
You said the other ladies are gonna be selling stones, lots too.
Yes.
Now, is somebody gonna go out
Oh, yes.
with them
all they
to
would,
make sure?
all the ladies, because I don't even sell a lot all by myself. I always call Dick. He goes out
Okay.
and puts stakes in around it and make sure that there's nobody already in occupancy there, because we don't want that to happen if we don't have to. But what I mean by them selling them is once all that work has been done, then they would actually process just the conveyance and collecting the money.
Okay,
That's the part they'd be doing.
I just wondered,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the only
Mm.
part. Because I'm not always there, especially when we're open on Saturdays and
Right.
Tuesday nights. I'm
you
rarely
have
there
a
then.
stipulation in here somewhere too,
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to try to ask them to put their stones in the
Mm-hmm.
right order.
Yes. Well, and what this document is an attempt to do is just take what we already have
Mhm.
and put it into categories. So if you look at the first one, it's general provisions, or
Mhm.
after this purpose definitions, and the definitions I thought would help people make more sense of this. And then general provisions, and you see how they're numbered 1, 2, 19, 30, et cetera?
Mhm.
That's because that's where in the current document, you find these items. So I wanted to help everyone to see that things are kind of scattered throughout.
Right, and this is
And-
the way they should be.
Yeah, and this would, to me, make a bit more sense if we had it in general provisions, fees in purchasing lots, ownership, prohibitions, vehicular traffic, maintenance, perpetual care, burial requirements, and monuments. And I think if we're going to make these kind of changes, we need to do this in kind of 2 steps. One is just organizing, so that the town can vote, yes, we like having it organized. And then if you want to add anything, have that be separate, like the ordinance changes I do for land use.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is if we reorganize it and make a bunch of changes to it, and the town says, oh, I don't like this change, they have to vote the whole thing down instead of just that one thing they didn't like.
Mhm.
So we'd be much better off, I think, to do the organization piece and then have a couple of other warrant articles that were add this to it, take this away from it,
Okay,
et cetera.
right. That would be good.
Yeah, so what I would suggest is we start with making sure that this kind of a format would work, or if some of them need to be shuffled around, or the categories need to be different. This is just my first go at trying to organize it
Right.
in some kind of a way. And if this works, then I think we should go to making those kind of changes, like you said, with the monuments, having them face the correct way, and anything else that's been a problem going forward, like you mentioned bushes, not allowing
Right.
people to plant bushes, for instance, possibly.
Yeah, well, and do you know what the law is about taking trees and bushes out?
According to the ordinance, the cemetery committee can remove bushes
Okay.
that are any kind of problem,
Because
or unsightly.
I've been
or-
asked
Mhm.
about, I think there's 4 lots, 3 or 4 lots, if we
Mhm.
could take the bushes out without, having to go through a big,
Yeah, you don't even have to ask permission, and let me see if I can find it in this. I think it was under maintenance.
well, that's all right, I don't
Yeah.
have to know for sure. I just wanted to know if you were aware that if there was a ruling or a,
Well, we can go through this and make,
Here we go,
You know.
on the second page on the back of it, I should have numbered these pages, I'm sorry, I will do that. Number 24, under maintenance. The cemetery shall have the right to remove all floral designs, flowers, weeds, trees, shrubs, plants, or herbage of any kinds from the cemeteries as soon as, in their judgment, they become unsightly, dangerous, detrimental, or diseased, or when they do not conform to the standard maintained in the cemeteries.
okay,
So that really, that part
That
of this
takes care of the whole
ordinance
of it.
gives the committee quite a bit
Right.
of power with that.
that's good.
You don't have to go to the person that planted it, you just,
so if we take this home and go over and read it
Mhm.
and make our notes,
yeah,
we could
mhm,
really hash it out the next meeting.
yes, mhm. Yep, that we could do.
And
Mhm.
future meetings, you have August
Mhm.
20th, September 17th, October 15th,
Mhm.
have been set up at 4:30.
Yeah.
And we were gonna change that, correct?
Change that to 6 o'clock if that works for you folks.
Okay,
Now, is that gonna mess you up?
Oh, no.
You're
No, it's,
allowed to come in an hour late in the morning?
yeah. It isn't like I wander in and out at will, but if I have super long weeks, I can come in a little later or leave a little earlier. But some weeks it just doesn't work out that way. I think this week I'm gonna end up with almost 60 hours in. So, that's part of my job. Mhm.
That was a lot of week.
It is.
it sure is.
This is a long week.
Okay, is there anything else to be discussed?
Not that I can think of for updates, because that's really all we
Do you
can.
have anything you wanna
Mhm.
bring up?
Nothing except that I hope we can get to working on those shrubs pretty quick.
We will, we will. Okay, then I guess,
Mhm.
hearing nothing else, meeting's adjourned.
Mhm.